So there's really kind of three areas I want to hit on with you, which is, what you're doing to generate new business. The second would be, you talked a lot about those relationships and developing those, stay in touch with your past clients, keeping them up to date, educating them. And, I kind of want to get an idea of what you're doing there. And then thirdly, I really want to go into like what your daily schedule looks like, because 100 deals with one assistant, again, it's pretty impressive. And you've got to, I'm sure, really have your schedule dialed in to do that. So, when it comes to your new business, because it's not like with your business growing, you're at the level it is, you're not just reliant on repeat referral business. You probably got a lot of that coming in, but then I'm sure you're out there attacking new business as well. And you talked before about circle prospecting. I mean, what are some of the things that you're doing right now to bring in this new business that, it's 2017 as the time of this interview. Like, what are some things that you're doing right now that are working really well for you for that new business?
For sure, man. Well, for one, people that kind of rely on referrals, their business will kind of stall out. That's kind of where you're stalling. You're going to stall out. You're not going to grow. You always have to have new business coming in, whatever your thing is. Everybody has a different thing. You have to figure out what your thing is to generate the kind of leads that make you happy at the level that you want. People to get where I'm at, to actually do 70 deals so far this year, it's a combination of being so good to your clients through the transaction, keeping up with them, creating that long-term relationship forever, and gaining a ton of referrals. But also, it's a combination of that and the new business. So if I were to last year, like if I were to just stop trying to get new business and just rely on my referrals, then I probably would just do 100 deals this year. Because I feel like, as a rule of thumb, your business will kind of stall out. But I'm still going after new business. So your business will not grow unless you're going after new business. With that being said, my thing is circle prospecting. I feel like, in my opinion, there's different quality of prospects out there. And if I'm going to spend my time and I'm going to, we only have so many days on this earth. We only have so many hours. We have to be as most productive as we can, work as smart as we can. I want the highest quality prospect that's available. So what is the highest quality prospect? It's property owners. Property owners, they already own property. So, if you can get a listing out of them, then of course that's the best, type of transaction. That's your best time per dollar is a listing. But if a seller or a property owner wants to buy a property, those are the best buyers because they already know everything. They already know how much property taxes and insurance, and they're not asking you all these crazy questions and taking up all your time. You don't have to spend all that time educating them. So I concentrate only on property owners who own property that I want to sell. And so to me, that's the best quality prospect to go after. Down here where I'm at, it's a second home vacation market and everything. So I concentrate on Gulffront condos. I sell a lot of houses and land, and I sell a commercial piece here and there, but my bread and butter is Gulffront condos. So I just time block, and I set some time aside. When I first started, when I did all those deals, whenever the market blew up and everything, I was calling about 100 people a day. I would look up numbers and I would call 100 people a day, and I would actually probably out of that only talk to about 5 people. And I'd leave a lot of messages, but the thing is back then there weren't anything, there were no dialing systems. I actually had to dial the numbers myself, leave the message, the stuff that people don't have to deal with these days if they're dealing with using one of the dialing systems. So I'd make 100 calls a day to talk to 5 people and try to make something happen. I knew that was the path that I wanted to take. But now that I'm where I'm at, I make about 50 calls a week. I'll set aside about 2 hours a week to use a dialer and call 50, make 50 calls. Some weeks I'll do past clients just to reconnect. I kind of alternate. I'll do, new, strictly cold calls. And then the next week I'll do past clients. So that's kind of my system because I've built a monster, man. I have so much business. I've got so much business and I have so much past business that I have so much referral business coming in. I have so much going on. I don't have the time that I used to sit around and make all the calls I really want to make. Dude, I really actually want to make, hundreds of calls a week. Like if it were up to me, I would make hundreds of calls a week, but I don't have that luxury. But my business is still growing and, I've got a really good assistant, which is a big part of it. So, I hope that answers your question because, as far as, getting new business, there's unlimited amount of people to call. That's one thing realtors don't get. I'm still calling people that I never talked to in my market. And I've made thousands and thousands of calls over the years. So it's the sea is large, man.
Yep. No, I love it. So, and just like you talked about, man, I mean, that consistency is key. That time blocking is key. To give people an idea when you're circle prospecting, right? Because you've got this, those of you that don't know what it is, you've got a list of homeowners, let's just say, and you're doing just that. You've got your area and you're just circling around and recalling. You're targeting. You've got your niche, you're reaching out to them, but a lot of people, I think a lot of people get freaked out about cold calling because they don't know what to say and they make up these stories in their head that they're going to get, chewed out and it's going to be worse than what it is, and I just tell people, I'm like, dude, just do something simplistic. Like, hey, Joshua Smith here, XYZ Real Estate. I'm just reaching out to local homeowners to see if you have a need to potentially sell your home right now. Or if you have any questions about what's going on in the marketplace. It could be something so basic. And you do enough of it, you get results. So give us an idea of what kind of a script that you're using that's getting results.
Well, I've kind of developed a script over the years, all my calls and stuff. I've had to figure out what works and what doesn't work. You know what I mean? So it's like a roadmap, man. Like a phone call. If you look at a phone call like a roadmap kind of thing where there's only 4 or 5 different end results, and you know how the call's going to end. You know that there's only going to be 4 or 5 different end results, and there's going to be a couple twists and turns in the call. You kind of know what to expect. You can handle whichever way the call goes, and it's going to end the way that it's going to end, one of the 3 or 4 ways. When you actually realize that, you start to become less worried about the call because you know how it's going to go. They're either going to hang up on you. They're going to say they want to do something, don't want to do something. Here's my email address. There's only a couple different scenarios. And so after you make a lot of calls, you start to realize these kind of things. You get really good at it. People that don't make calls or scared to make calls, to me, they're kind of selfish because, real estate is a people business. The reason that it is so different than a lot of other businesses and why I think technology is going to be really hard to replace real estate agents is because there has to be conversations to make transactions because each local market is so different. I can go 30 minutes down the road and I don't know what's going on up there. Every market is its own little world, and you have to have a local expert to help you navigate the waters. So I think that, and to navigate the waters, you got to have a conversation with somebody. So that's why, to me, phone calls are the #1 way to get a career really jump started. And I feel like you're selfish if you know that, and that's going to make you successful, and you being successful is going to help everybody around you, and you still don't do it. To me, that's just kind of a cop-out. You got to get it done, and if it's not for you, then you might want to think about doing something else, because talking to strangers and selling to strangers and talking on the phone is, if you can't do it at a very high level, then 80% of people don't make it in this business. But to answer your question about what I say, it kind of goes like this. I say their name like a question, hey, Mr. Johnson, And then they'll say yes or no. And then I say, hey, Mr. Johnson, this is Ricky Carruth down at Remax of Orange Beach. How you doing today? And then he'll say whatever. And then I'll say a little remark, kind of something like about the weather or something. You know, I'll say something about what's going on, you know. Yeah, I'm just trying to stay dry. It's raining like crazy out there. Or, man, it's gorgeous outside. Something like that to kind of ease him up and get the prospect kind of, you know, on level terms where I'm not just coming at him with a sales pitch. Then I immediately say, hey, well, look, I don't want to take up too much of your time today, but a house down the road just sold from you, and I didn't know if there's anything I could do for you. So that's the approach I take. I tell them, hey, look, I don't want to take up too much of your time today, but I just listed a house or something just sold or whatever I'm calling about, and I didn't know if there's anything I could do for you today. And sometimes they'll say, well, help me with what? And I'm like, well, with buying or selling real estate or anything, you know, just whatever. And then they'll say, no, not really. Yeah, 99% of them are going to say no right there. All right, that's my opening right there. If they say yes, then I'm going to go after that deal. I want to try to close that deal. And that happens, you know, under 1% of the time. But what you're really looking for is that no, because so many people say no, they don't need anything right now. So many people that you call are not going to be ready to do a transaction. Wouldn't it be amazing if you could figure out a way to capitalize on all the people that you talk to on the phone that say no? Because here's the thing, man, you're on the phone. This is a precious moment. You're on the phone with that property owner. Chances are you may never talk to them again. You know, this is your moment to really make something happen or not. You got to make a connection somehow. So when they say no, that's when I hit them with, well, look, you know, I understand. Well, look, is there an agent in the area that you work with or that you would work with if you were to do something? And I just let them answer that. And see, when they answer, if they say yes, then I just say, oh, okay, who is it? That's a great agent. You know, you're in good hands. If there's ever anything I can do for you, please let me know. Boom, you get off the phone. I'm done. Right? But when they say they don't have an agent that they would work with, that's like an open invitation for me to be their agent moving forward. If I do what I'm supposed to do from that point forward, then I'm going to have this great relationship with this person. And when they decide it's time to do something, then I'm hoping that I've done what I'm supposed to do to convince them that I'm the best choice of a real estate agent. So when they say no, I say, I got you. Well, look, one day you're going to want to buy or sell something around here, and I'd just like the opportunity to work with you when that day comes. Would it be all right if we stayed in touch? And of course, they're going to say yes right there if you made it that far in the conversation, because you're not saying anything real threatening. You know, you're not invading any privacy or anything like that. I've never really had anybody that said no right there once you get to that point in the call. And then they say, yes, it's okay to stay in touch. That's when I ask for their email address. That's when I ask for their email address. I ask for the email address after they commit to staying in touch with me. And that way they feel a little more obligated to give it to me. And if they say no, then I do push on them a little right there and say, listen, I understand. I know what you're thinking. I'm not going to spam you or anything crazy like that. I just want the opportunity just to stay in touch with you. If you don't like what I send you, then you can just, you know, cancel it or whatever. I'll take you off. No big deal. So that's what I do, man. That is like the whole thing, man. I know the questions I'm going to ask, the yes and no's, the transition points. And at the end of the day, they're either going to hang up on me, say they have a realtor already, give me their email address, not give me that. There's only a couple different, you know, end results of this call. And, you know, you make enough of them, you're going to find about 50% of people are never going to do anything with you because they don't like you. They have another realtor. They're never going to sell. About 25% will do something with you in 10 years. 15% will do something with you in 5 years. You know, 2 or 3% do something in 2 or 3 years. And then like under 1% will do something today. And so if you can capitalize on all the people that like you enough, they're just not ready right now, and you can figure out a system to keep those people in the palm of your hand until they get ready to do something, that's when you create a really big business. And so I get their email address, and I do a weekly email report of my market. It's really good. and it keeps people engaged. So that's pretty much, the bread and butter. I don't have a very elaborate, crazy, business. It's pretty simple, and but it works really well, and I just grind it out.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. And you did a brilliant job laying that out, right? So hopefully those watching, listener, taking some amazing notes here. Because I mean, so many people overcomplicate this stuff. I mean, it's basic. I mean, it's simplistic, but simple doesn't mean easy. It's hard to pick up the phones. It's hard to get rejected. So simplistic never means easy. But I love it, dude. And at the end of the day, it absolutely works. So, and you're living proof of that, right? So then in that weekly email update, like, which I also love, because I mean, think that's 40 or what, 48 touches a year. And even if they're just deleting it, they're still seeing, Ricky with Remax's name. You can't delete an email with not kind of even through your peripherals seeing that name and burning that into their subconscious. Mm-hmm. So when you're emailing that weekly market update, is that just kind of like hey, here's what's new on the market, here's what's went under contract, here's what's sold in the past week, or is it, do you include just overall things that are happening in the area? Like, what does that weekly email look like?
It's a combination of everything, man. It's stuff in the area, it's closed sales, it's new listings, it's a nice picture of the beach, it's featured listings. But the thing about it is, it's got a beach cam, property search thing. It's got all kinds of stuff. But the thing is the genius of it is to make it to where it has all those different parts of the content, but also to make it simple to read, easy on the eyes, not real busy. I'm pretty good. I've got kind of a talent where I can create these emails and other things where it's attractive, without being too much for people, where it's just kind of a subtle thing. It gives you what you want, but it's not too much. And, I've got people that open up the email because they want to see what closed. Then I got other people that open it up because they want to see the new listings. Then I got other people that open it up because they want to see the beach cam. Other people want to see the, featured properties or whatever. There's a different thing on there for everybody, and I try to make it to where it's got everything anybody would want. I got 14,000 people on that list, and 2,000 of them open it up every week. And then out of the other ones, I'm sure, they just, like you say, they just kind of subliminally see it every week. And if they ever decide to do something, they know it's there. They know I'm there. You know what the weekly report does for me? It like works for me. Like, it builds the relationship for me, because I send it every single Wednesday for 10 years, through the ups and downs of my life, through the market crashing, through, moving, vacations. Every single Wednesday, a report goes out from me to them. And what it does is it shows them how consistent I am. It shows them how hardworking, professional, knowledgeable, low pressure, easy to deal with. It completely molds who I am to them on a massive level to thousands of people without me having to do it. Where I can just sit here and make calls all day to new people and just get more email addresses, throw them in there, and let that machine just keep churning. So I get people that call me all the time that they're like, I've been getting your email for 7 years, and I'm like, what's your name? It's amazing. So, when I started, there was no Facebook, there was no dialing systems and stuff, and this is a whole new world that we're in now. But I built my stuff on the old school, methods, and it still works. I have gotten into a lot of Facebook stuff. I have done, I do some things, but my bread and butter is phones and emails, and postcards. I'm pretty religious on postcards. Do about 2,000 a month.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's amazing, man. It's, I think so many people use technology, and they use it in a way that it replaces the human connection, and you've used it in a way where you're not looking to replace the human connection, those relationships. You're just allowing you to do more of it and go deeper with those relationships. And that's definitely the right angle to be taking, and the consistency, because people are like, oh, Ricky, man, you've come out of nowhere, dude. Your business is on fire. 10 years of consistent nonstop, right? I love it, dude. So then when it comes to your past clients, right? So then I'm sure your
Yeah.
past clients are probably still continuously getting those Wednesday emails.
Yeah.
Then are you doing, additional dials to them or staying in touch with them outside of those emails to further that relationship?
Well, I have so many of them, it's a chore. I mean, I have thousands of past clients, and the thing is they get the email, and that's really the like main focus. That's like the heart of my business. That's the glue that holds it all together. But like I said, I'll do every other week. I'll try to call 50 of my past clients and just touch base with them and stuff. But see, down here, most of my clients don't live in my area. They live all over the country. They come down from all over and buy condos down here. So, a lot of times, I'll send out an email that looks like it's a personal email, but it's a blast to everybody. And it's like, hey, man, just checking on you. Let me know when you get down here next. I want to do lunch with you, or something like that. I do a lot of lunches. And I give away a lot of dinner gift cards to seafood restaurants down here. So anytime I meet somebody, I'm giving a $25 gift card to whoever I'm meeting. Just to show gratitude and stuff, just to do something a little extra. So, I mean, as far as the past clients, they see what I'm doing. That email I do, they know it's a blast, but I do it in a way where there's still a personal touch to it. And when a client deals with me one-on-one, when we do a deal, it's so up close and personal. Like I go way above and beyond. Like they know when they call me, like I'll go do anything for them. You know what I'm saying? And so when they know that, it's like you don't have to stay in such close contact with them because they know that whenever they do need you, that you're going to just, cut a back flip for them. So, I mean, it's a little bit of both. I try to call them. I can't call all of them. I do what I can do. And I try to do lunch, and a lot of them will call me when they get down and say, hey, let's go do lunch. So I get some one-on-one FaceTime with them.